What if the greatest wealth strategy isn't about numbers, but about choice? In today's episode, I'm joined by Dr. Nicholas Michels, CFP, author of Rich by Choice and founder of Michels Family Financial. From turning down an $8 million signing bonus to writing a book that's changing how people view money, Nick's story proves that real success comes from alignment, not hustle. We talked about what inspired his book, how his toughest moments shaped his career, and what financial professionals can learn from his decision to build a business on purpose instead of pressure. If you've ever wondered whether writing a book or taking a bold stand could transform your career path or your business, you're going to want to hear this one all the way through. You're listening to Podcasting for Financial Professionals, the show where smart advisors, planners, CPAs, and money experts learn how to use podcasting as their most powerful marketing tool. I'm Virginia Elder, podcast strategist and founder of Podcast Abundance. Since 2019, I've helped financial professionals stop wasting time on random marketing tactics and instead build a podcast that increases authority, expands reach, and consistently drives leads. Before we jump in, I've got something that will change the way you think about your podcast. The most important 30 seconds of your show happens right after someone hits play. And most hosts have no idea what to say, how to make an impact, or how to capture the right listener that quickly. That's why I created the Attraction Messaging Blueprint, your simple guide to crafting a strong trailer, a tight 30-second intro, and a clear outro that actually generates leads for your business. Grab yours today at podcastabundance.com/attraction messaging blueprint. Dr. Nick, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Oh, I'm happy to be here, Virginia.
I thought you were perfect to be on the show today because of your current success and the current audience that you have reached already with your book. Let's take a step back and have you guide us through what got you here. And I especially want to hear about a particular pivotal moment in your childhood that kind of turned your brain on to how to manage money.
You know, I'll take you back to the summer of 1996. I was a 10-year-old boy. I was the middle youngest of four wild and crazy boys. It was fun. You know, my father was an entrepreneur, owned a few businesses. My mom, we were blessed because she was a stay-at-home mom of four boys. And to be honest with you, Virginia, I didn't even know what money was. I just knew that, hey, life's pretty good. And we did have it pretty good. But then it changed, and it changed quickly. I remember like it was yesterday, my mom comes into my room and she looks worried and she sits down next to me, puts her arm around me, and she says, "Your dad and I are getting divorced." And literally those words shattered my childhood. And because it seemed like overnight, my mom went from a stay-at-home mom of four boys to a single mom of four boys working three jobs just to keep things going. And, you know, my dad didn't have it much better. I mean, as you can imagine, our entire lives changed. Any type of financial security, gone. Confidence and stability vanished. We went from a big house on one side of town to a tiny house on the other. I mean, it was at a young age that I quickly realized how important money greatly influences all of our lives. And we have the choice for good and bad. And you know, it wasn't the stuff that I missed. It wasn't. It was watching the physical and emotional toll and pain it took on my mom and my brothers. And what's really exciting, I'm glad to tell you, is my mom completely rebuilt her life. I mean, it's amazing. She's my hero. But the thing is, going through that and living through that had a very dramatic impact on my life. I mean, I wanted to learn everything I could. I wanted to be able to build and to grow and also to protect. And so, yes, I love helping people become rich in money. And we do that, but we also love helping people become rich in life, rich in relationships, rich in doing more of the things you love with the people you love, and then teaching you how to protect those riches that, because this life's going to throw you curveballs that no matter what this world throws at you, you're still confident, you're still excited about your future.
Yeah. Yeah. So at that point, when your parents are splitting and life seems completely uprooted, was there a key moment in there where you were like, oh, like money really matters. And so I'm going to go into finance? Like, I don't think it's that clear for like most 10-year-old kids. Most of them are like you were, where you're just like, I don't even know what money is. Life is great. But yeah, what happened there?
When I was 10, I don't remember like thinking, oh, money, money, money. It was more lifestyle. It was more, hey, we had this and now we have this and I want this back. And it was more lifestyle things. And it wasn't, like I said, stuff. It was more the peace, the joy, the fun, because like when you have a lifestyle, it doesn't matter where that lifestyle is. But when you go from here to here, then you really know what you're missing. Like I have a buddy, he does mission work in Africa, and he comes across kids and they have nothing. I mean, we here in America, we're so blessed and lucky. They have nothing, but they're still happy-go-lucky kids because they don't know any better. They don't know the difference. And so, like, it was more of a lifestyle. But I do remember when I was 16, I worked at a golf course. And I think I got made $5 an hour. And I took out the trash, washed golf carts, picked up golf balls from the driving range. But the owner's name was Rex. And we played a game called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And he literally showed me, if I took a little bit, and he showed me the numbers, if I took a little bit of my paycheck and I put it back, and by the time I got into my 30s, I can't remember the exact dollar amount, but to me it seemed like millions, if not billions of dollars. But what changed was empowerment. Like a light switch went off and go, oh, you're telling me that my future can be better than my past. Like I don't have to be rich. Like I can change my stars. And I didn't know at that time I was going to go into finance, but I did know that, oh, I want to start learning this. I want to know this because there's something out there, a lifestyle that I want. And now you're telling me that I have the power to go get it. And so I mean, I just remember being excited.
Yeah, I like that. So I agree. Often in childhood, there is someone or some moment that kind of, whether they mean to or not, they provide us this light bulb that kind of changes our perspective and inspires us and probably influences us for the rest of our lives. Do you think he was like on a mission in that way? Like, hey, let me get all these golf course kids and like really teach them that, like, what do you think happened there?
You know, Rex was a wonderful person. He's interesting because if you think about a typical golf course owner, I promise you, whatever you're thinking about right now, it's not Rex. I mean, he's the guy that bought a piece of land and was on a tractor. And he had a lot of help doing this. He didn't build the golf course, but he was out there helping build the golf course, like the manual labor, and that's Rex. And one of the things I remember, and we should all remember this, like myself, I'm a parent, and then we also have a nonprofit try to teach kids. So one thing that was in Rex's favor is that he was not just saying it; he was living it. I mean, he was a guy who came from humble beginnings and now owns a golf course. And he was so honest and spoke from the heart that, he didn't inherit any money from a rich uncle. This is how he did it. He never sold a business for a ton of money and just came into it. No, it was a slow and steady with small actions. And so I don't know if like he did it unintentional, but he had a giving heart because he was living it and he was proud of his life and he came a long way. So he wanted, just like I try to do, to show people anybody can really do it. I came from the sports world and I played professional basketball in Europe. When
Hmm.
you're taller and bigger and stronger, it helps in the sports world. Like you have an advantage.
Right.
In the business world, guess what? There is none of that. You can be tall, short, this, that, whatever. It's a skill. I mean, that's exciting to me that we can all learn and grow and improve our lives.
I agree. So you mentioned your nonprofit and the fact that it's for kids. So I think this is a perfect spot to talk about it. And I'm curious how much of those lessons from Rex influence the way that this nonprofit works and runs and helps kids.
It really is. So our nonprofits do a lot of different things. Money Education Kids, one of them. We help send kids to camp, which is another one. But it was really what you just described. The things that people have done for us, and it's my wife and I, and really helped our lives. We try to pay that forward. And the interesting thing is we buy a bunch of Cokes and candy, and I don't even like Coke, so like battery acid for the body, but I do it because the kids like it, and we hand out gift cards because we want to make it fun. And again, my goal is they can learn one thing because then their education starts and they'll want to learn something else and then they'll want to learn something else. But it really impacts a lot because just here recently I was at a school and these kids and I was telling them my story and I told them about Rex. And then I go, do you want to know what Rex showed me? And I was able to show them, not just tell them, but show them, hey, if you make $50,000 a year and you just put back 10%, by the time you get retirement age, you're going to have, and it was different ages at retirement, depending on when you retire, but there was 4 million, 8 million, 15 million. If you make $75,000 a year, you put back 10%. It was 6 million, 12 million, and like 30 million. So you should see their eyes. Because that you're talking about NBA money, professional sports money. When you start talking, most people don't realize that you can do that too. It's just making a conscious effort. So that's where it starts. We talk about a lot of different things, but that's really what kids get excited about, that knowing that, oh my gosh, because just like myself, I never thought I could do that. Or they say, oh, anybody can do it. But when you actually see the numbers, it's got a big impact on you. So yes, we do try to pay it forward, those same principles.
So bring us forward even more a little bit so the folks listening kind of understand your professional position at this current point. And then I want to dive in and talk about your book.
My current profession situation at this point, my wife and I, we own our financial firm. It's Michels Family Financial. We really specialize in going real deep in 6 key areas. And one is, yes, investment consulting, helping people make smart decisions with their money. But then we also go into wealth enhancement, which is helping you save money on taxes and increasing your cash flow. Wealth protection, huge. Not only asset protection, but also protecting your lifestyle from being unjustly taken. Wealth transfer, making sure your loved ones are taken care of. And then all of our clients get to a point where day to day, month to month, year to year, they get to do what they want to do. Now it's, hey, how do we make a lasting impact on the world at charitable giving? So a lot of the book concepts, and we align it with what's important to them in their life. And so I always say I've got the second best job in the world. The first is being a trust fund baby, which I'm not a trust fund baby. The second is doing this. We love it. We love the people we help, and we love the impact we make on their life.
What was the path that you took from, golf course education by Rex until you started this business and got to this point where you owned your own firm? I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Thank you. It was a God wink. I mean, I played basketball in college, and my undergrad is actually psychology, which I never used to talk about very much. Not that I was ashamed of it, it's just I thought it didn't apply, but that's life and money. Everything's psychological. It is psychology. But I had an internship when I was in college, and a good family friend was a financial advisor, and I was a intern junior broker. And again, a God wink to when I started doing it, I fell in love with it. I was, math and money, because I was learning along the way, became pretty easy to me. And I saw the people that you're able to see it. It's like when you go out and mow your grass, you get to see your accomplishments, which is a good feeling. Same thing, you get to see it in people's lives. You get to see the anxiety, the worry, and you get to see that kind of melt away and the positive ripple effect you have on them. And it was just, that's what I wanted to do. And so that kind of shaped our trajectory of where we're at now.
When did you jump out on your own?
I actually started, 21 when I first started interning. I went full time at 26 after I stopped playing professional basketball. I was interning just about every year from now till then. Then went full time until 10 years. I was with a firm, worked my way up as a partner with that firm, and then we started to see some things in the financial industry that we really didn't agree with. Not every financial firm, not every financial advisor, no, but we started to see things that we didn't agree with. And so we said, hey, we wanted to do things our way.
Hey there, quick sidebar to this episode. Most business owners jump into podcasting with a concept and maybe even a guest list, but zero plan or comfort with what they're going to say during their intro, outro, or trailer. And these are the most important segments for your podcast because they either hook your ideal listener or lose them fast. The Attraction Messaging Blueprint fixes that. Inside, you'll learn the 4 key components for writing a memorable intro, a snappy outro, and a powerful trailer episode. You get examples, space to draft and refine your scripts, and a final checklist so you don't miss a thing. If you want your podcast to stand out and actually generate leads for your business, this is where your strategy starts. Download it for free today at podcastabundance.com/attraction-messaging-blueprint.
I actually got offered a little over $8 million to leave the firm we were with and go with another firm, and very popular in the financial industry, which I'm not disagreeing. But at that point in time, I remember going home with my wife and I said, I can't do this anymore. We got to do things our way. And I remember like yesterday, my wife didn't even ask a question, didn't even bat an eye. She said, okay, let's do it. And we did, and we haven't looked back since. It was the greatest decision ever.
Wow. So there's a couple things there that I think it's so cool that you played basketball overseas. We kind of glossed over that like through this first 10 minutes here. What a great experience. And of course, in my family, we watch EPL soccer. And so like, that's kind of the thing is like the kids want to go overseas and see what soccer is like over there because we don't have height in our family. You are gifted with height. I am not. But I will share my son just made the middle school basketball team. So he is very proud of himself.
Congratulations.
Thank you. The other piece there that's so cool is you walked away from a massive payout. I mean, a lot of people would not be able to balance their moral compass with that amount of money. And so I just want to like call that out, give you some credit there. That's a big deal. And to then kind of recognize that I think the only way to do this is to go out on my own is a big step, and that compounds the bravery that you had to have. So tell us about starting your own firm and what were those early days like?
You're never fully going to be prepared to start a business. I mean, for us, for myself, my wife and I interviewed everyone. I'm talking probably 100 different people in all walks of the industry, all walks of entrepreneurship and everything. And I thought I had, hey, this is our roadmap. This is our plan. We're going to nail this. 3 days in, we're throwing a 90-degree curveball in there and we're starting because that's entrepreneurship is that you have to be able to move and pivot. Now, all of our key values, our key traits, how we help people hasn't changed a bit, but how the business structure and how you do things, some of those things, it's just, that's entrepreneurship. So it's a wild ride, but you have to, yes, be prepared. I'm not saying don't be prepared. Do your research, but just know in any type of entrepreneurship, you're going to get thrown some curveballs and you just have to have the will, like your purpose, your overall mission. You've got to be grounded in saying, hey, this is why I'm doing it because that's what's going to keep you going every day. But oh my goodness, I can't tell you how beneficial it is of going to successful people and ask them, hey, I want to do this. What'd you do? What shouldn't I do? Receive coaching, because that'll help you save a lot of money. Because when you're an entrepreneur, mistakes cost money. So you might as well spend the money to receive coaching and to receive wise counsel. I can't tell you any success I have is because I'm on the shoulders of other individuals who have helped us along the way. And we're incredibly grateful for that.
Could you share a little bit about as you built, how do you establish a compliance department? How did you establish your team? Like, give me the nitty gritty of building that, because there are a lot of financial folks listening that are not yet independent. They kind of are stuck a little bit temporarily and they're seeing that potential independence and I could go out on my own, but that is so scary. And so give us like a 5-step view into their future potentially of how did you establish these important pieces of your business?
Yeah, I mean, it was several different key factors, but I can't overemphasize, Jim Collins' Good to Great, the book of getting the right people on the bus. What I did was first is emulate success. So reaching out to people who are successful and saying, hey, I need compliance. And that's who we have now. And we went through one company before finding our, head up attorneys or team that represents us, because we asked others, for help. So our team now within the company, we were lucky enough to build it before we started a company. They came with us during the transition. But here's the thing, when I get the right people on the bus, and this is just me, my personal opinion, but I can teach people finance. I can teach people the numbers. I can teach people that. But I have a hard time teaching people integrity, perseverance, work ethic. Those type of traits, I look for those. Because if they have that, then I can bring on the rest. And so we have had great success with that, of finding, those, like I said, integrity, perseverance, work ethic, passion, caring about people. If I find those, I'll hire you any day of the week because I can build the rest with you.
Then, as far as, you've got compliance taken care of, you've got your team set. At what point did you say, you know what? I have so much free space in my life. I'm just going to write a book.
Well, and the thing is, I don't. I mean, I have 4 kids, and we're active in sports, and we're active in their lives. We do a lot of things. We travel, so I don't. It is. But my wife laughs at me because I'll get these ideas, and I'll be like, "Hey, babe, I'm gonna do this." I mean, how hard could it be? And I really said that about a book, and not disrespect. I've never written a book, so I'm not trying to be disrespectful. When I said that. But it was a lot tougher than I thought. It was extremely tough because I had a dissertation that I wrote, which is academia, but you need to change it from academia to a book, which is night and day, obviously learning that. So it was a lot of trial and error, but I had a passion because I wanted to take all what I've seen, all that I've seen, not only in my own life, but the thousands of people and families that we've actually worked with and spoken with. And then also going back through history, that I wanted to take it all and simplify it and say, hey, here's a roadmap, people. Here's what works. And it's not just money too, but it's life as well. So it was quite a bit. I could do it a lot easier now after going through the process, but we did. We had to go through a few different editors and publicists and things like that to find the right fit. But it was quite a challenge, but I'm incredibly grateful.
Yeah. Tell me what that process was like, not just coming up with content or anything like that, but really finding the right editors and publicists. I've been in the space enough to where I have several friends that have written a book, and there are different stories from everyone. And you don't have to name names or anything, but I would love to kind of hear about, red flags or things that made you go, like, this is not the right person for us, or this is the right person. Like, what that whole book writing process, I know lots of people aspire to do it, but it is another very scary place.
I actually tried it on my own for a little bit and going through different writers, and it really wasn't going the way that I wanted to, and it just wasn't a mess, and the direction of the ship wasn't pointed in where I wanted to go. But now again, writing a book was the moon to me. Just probably like many of you listening, like I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to steer the ship where I wanted to go, and so I finally, again, I should have known better from the beginning. But I've got several friends, and a couple of them have had great success in writing a book. Couple knew somebody, and so I reached out to everyone and just said, hey, this is what I'm wanting to do. I'm struggling with this. And 2 of the individuals I reached out to gave the same advice, the same publishing company who ended up publishing my book, and it completely changed everything. And the book would not have anywhere near the success in reaching people and changing their lives if we wouldn't have got that advice.
Would you share with us a little bit about your mindset behind the book? I mean, obviously you want to get information out, and you talked about switching it over from like an academic perspective into a real life perspective, but more of like the positioning, right? Were you like, this book is going to attract people into my business, or was there something else there? What was the goal? What was kind of some of the thought patterns behind writing a book?
I learned a lot of things and a few key things that really changed my life. Because you remember when I talked about in my childhood, I went from a really comfortable lifestyle to really poor. But then my life came full circle that, when I was young and I was newly married, I call it outwardly successful, but inwardly stressed. And what that means is my business profession started to grow. I was quickly rising, bringing on new clients. I made partner with the firm. You'd be like, oh, from the outside looking in, Nick's got it going on. But the thing is, my happiness level was not going up with my business success. And a lot of it had to do with my marriage. I did a lot. I was young and dumb. I thought because I was a financial advisor, I should be managing the money. It wasn't a power thing, but just I thought it was what I brought to the table. My wife brings everything else. It's something I could help and contribute to. But I was wrong because we were having money disagreements. I remember like it was yesterday. We're on our way home from Lubbock, Texas. My wife and I have a weekend getaway, watching college sports with some friends, having a great time. But on the way home, another money disagreement. I mean, it wasn't a fight, but just we couldn't get on the same page. And at that point in time, I had an option. I could either just keep dealing with this, like we're spinning our tires in the mud, not making forward progress, or I go searching for answers. And so I called mentors and said, "Hey, I'm dealing with this. This is a problem." And they gave me some books to read, and they weren't books on money. They were books on women and marriage and what it truly meant. Because in my faith, and this is mine, to leave, cleave, and become one flesh, like you come together. I thought I was doing it, but I wasn't. But they gave me some exercises to do, and it completely changed my marriage. I mean, it was a game changer, not only for our own life and what we were building, but the trajectory of us doing it together. And so that is about money, but it's also about life. And so I wanted to write a book because a lot of money books talk about this percentage and that percentage and this expense ratio or whatever they talk about, and that's all important. But our book is different, where it takes you on a journey of, hey, it's you. This is your life. Like, we don't get to decide when we come into this world. We don't get to decide when we leave, but we do get to decide on how we live our lives, and that's exciting. So it takes you on a journey to understand what's important to you, who's important to you, what's the exact life you want to live, what's your strengths and weakness, what's your money psychology, all these things. And then only then, once you understand that, now let's start aligning our finances and our goals on those things. And that's where you find true joy. Because Virginia, you and I both know a ton of people who have a ton of money. They're not happy. We know people who don't have money and they're not happy, but we know other people that have money and they're happy. And so it's, how do you have it all? Now, just because my wife and I do these things, we have 4 kids. Does that mean every kid eats all their vegetables and they never talk back to us and go to bed on time? No, like, it's still life. But I tell you what, by doing this, it's changed our life in an incredible way. And I wanted to share that with people.
Mm-hmm. So I'm hearing that it didn't really truly have like a business play to writing your book. It was really like a passion-led life lesson, share the wealth type of thing.
It really is, because in our business now, when I first started in this business, if someone had a heartbeat, they could become a client. I was young, I didn't have any client, but now it's true that there's only so many time in a day and so much energy that I can't help everybody. Like, we have certain minimums, and we deal with people that have already created wealth because the complexities of their life we specialize in. But I want an opportunity to help anybody. It doesn't matter if your income is this, or whatever. You're a human being, and I want to help you. And so, because in that book, it talks about legacy planning as well. And there's some secrets to that, because, 90% of legacy transfers in America right now fail. I mean, how amazing. I mean, that's incredible that 90%, all of us who have children, you want to create a life and pass on everything to your kids, not just money, but your values and things like that. It fails. And so I talk about that in the book too. Hey, these are some conversations and step-by-step instructions of how 85% of that problem goes away. And most people don't even realize it. So the book is geared towards everyone. And I love that.
Yeah, I do too. I appreciate you putting that out there. So for the folks listening, they might be, hoping to transition independent, like we mentioned earlier. They might be thinking about writing a book and thinking about, well, how do I position this as, professional person in this space and attract people to my business? That's usually kind of the mindset behind starting a podcast even. So could you share some quick nuggets as we start to get towards the end here, as how do you market your business? Or perhaps how did you market as you were growing? Because it sounds like maybe you don't probably have to market anymore. You've kind of got that client base built, but give us some window into like, what would you do if you were building today?
The best thing. Now, when I was early on growing, you asked how do we market? It was through our clients. I mean, we got the greatest clients ever. We love them. I mean, I joke and say my mom's my greatest client because just think everything she's went through, for me to be able to look her in the eyes and go, hey, mom, you don't have to worry about money again. Like you did it. And she did. And so that's really special to me, especially as her son. But all of our clients are like family to us. And so we had a lot of referrals. But a book is the greatest business card. Now, statistically speaking, I think it's somewhere between 20 and 30%. If I give you a book, Virginia, there's not you personally, but just say that 20 to 30% chance that you even read it. Possibly a 30% chance that you skim it. So the chance of someone reading it or not, but just that you have a book and it creates you as an expert in that field, just like a podcast. So it does put you in a different space, but it also allows people to understand who you are. That, like, you think about financial advisors. Sometimes if Nick, a financial advisor, that can be, I don't use the word scary, but unknown. There's a lot of bad financial advisors in the world. There is. I'm sad to say, but there are. You can't trust them. It's sad. So there's there's going to be some negative connotations. But when you get to share your story and say, hey, I'm just like you. Like I have a past, you have a past. I went through tough times. I made financial mistakes. I'm not saying here I'm the perfect person or perfect finance guy, but let me tell you what I learned and let me tell you what works. And so it does so much for you. So I'd highly recommend do it. And you can spend a little money. You can spend a lot of money. It depends on what you want to do. But do it. I mean, look at all the presidents, not all, but many of the presidents of the United States. And I'm not getting political. I'm just saying, look at many of them on both sides of the aisle. A lot of them wrote books that really propelled them entering in the arena of politics and helped them get to where they wanted to politically. Look at a lot of entrepreneurs, Tony Robbins, Oprah Winfrey, like they use that. So it's not a secret. I mean, it's going to help propel you. And it's absolutely worth it. My wife and I joke around. What's cool about our book too, we have these QR codes at the end of every chapter. My wife and I do a video where we go further into our own lives and plenty of mistakes that I've made. So we talk about that because we wanted the book to come alive. But here's the thing. I told my wife before it came out, I said, even if this bombs, our kids are going to be able to watch this and read this even long after we're gone. So it's as if I'm writing to my children as well. And so think about that too. It's part of your legacy that you're leaving behind. And so there's so many different benefits of podcasts and books and speaking your voice.
Yeah, thank you for highlighting all that. I really appreciate it. And that is kind of one of the big challenges in the podcasting space. And I think in the book writing space too, like many entrepreneurs, professionals, finance space or not, will sit on their idea for like 2 years before ever starting to execute. And I love that you brought up Dan Sullivan and several books that you've kind of dropped the name here and there. I really appreciate that because when you're in those spaces around those people, you're not allowed to sit on those ideas. Like the crew pushes you. And so that would be some hidden advice in what you said is like, get involved.
Oh, absolutely. And I would add this one thing, when you become an entrepreneur, in the corporate America world, there's certain things like they make you do. You have to do. You have check mark this box, check mark that, but whatever it might be. When you become an entrepreneur, like you said, you have a lot of people listening, and you might be one of them that are listening now that you want to branch off and do your own thing. Well, you talk about growth, Virginia. Well, there's stats out there that say, if you want to 10x your business, it's pretty unique, and they call it your unique ability. And so a unique ability is something that you're really, really good at, but you're also really passionate about. And so if you make most of your calendar your unique ability, you're going to 10x your business. It's worth 10x, on your time value and on your business. And then it goes to the next one, things that you might be good at, but you don't really love. And that's probably a 2x return on your business because you are good at it, but you don't love it. But then it goes to other ones like things you're not good at and you don't like. And so guess what? As a business owner, when you're independent, you get to delegate those things because that's like a minus 10x on your business. So you get to focus on all the things you're really good at and you're really passionate about. And then you get to delegate and bring members on your team who are really good and really passionate about the other things. And all of a sudden, boom, your business explodes. And you have the power to do that because you're helping more people, because it all comes down to the more people you help and the better you help those people, success is going to follow.
Thank you so much. I am going to get some links from you to the different books that you recommend. Of course, we're going to feature your book, Rich by Choice. I love that. Where can people find and follow you? Do you hang out on LinkedIn at all, or how can we get in touch with you?
Everyone who's listening, I want to give you a free gift. If you go to www.richbychoicebook.com, richbychoicebook.com, right there, it'll say free gift in a green box. Check the one that says Compounding by Choice. It's a free chapter I'm going to give to you. And why it's so important, we have had thousands upon thousands of reviews and people reaching out how this one chapter changed their life, and it changed mine too. And what it is we talk about money. We talk about compound interest. But most people don't take the time to understand and realize that every area of your life right now, marriage, finances, business, relationships, health and wellness, intelligence, faith, everything is compounding. And it's either compounding for good, getting better, or compounding for worse. There's no something being stagnant. And the book walks you through simple strategies of going, okay, hey, let me list the key areas of my life, the key people in my life. And it gives such easy daily, weekly habits that you can start incorporating. Because most time, really successful people, some of them radically change their life, but most they don't. It's just small little things they start doing that equal big results. And so that's my gift to you, richbychoicebook.com. I want you, if you want the book, it's there too, but it's going to help you in an incredible way, which is our goal.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for the free gift. I'm so excited to get it. And I want to encourage everyone, don't pass this up.
Thank you. God bless everybody.
Thanks for spending your time with me today on Podcasting for Financial Professionals. If you walked away with one idea that helps you get more visible, increase your authority, or turn your podcast into a real lead generating machine, then your time was worth it. Before you go, let's make sure you have strong intros, outros, and a trailer for your podcast that pulls in your ideal clients. Grab the Attraction Messaging Blueprint. It gives you the formula, examples, and worksheets to make the most important segments of your show count. Download it for free right now at podcastabundance.com/attraction-messaging-blueprint.